I'm tired of these politicians, Democrats and Republicans, who do non-stop bullshit. Hi, this is Chazz Palminteri. Welcome to the Chazz Palminteri Show on YouTube. We are closing in on 100,000 subscribers, which is really nice. I'm really excited by that. We like to remind you we're here every Monday at 11 o'clock for the whole week. You'll see us. We have a lot of great guests here. Academy Award winners, Tony winners, Emmy winners, Golden Globe winners, great singers, songwriters, big stars, small stars, neighborhood guys. I try to get a lot of neighborhood guys on once in a while. They're a dying breed, I grew up on 187th Street in the Bronx. There were some great characters there. Obviously, I wrote about them in Bronx Tale. And again, if you want to come and see the original one-man show of Bronx Tale, go to chazzpalminteri.net. .net. You can go there. You can get all my merchandise, all my T-shirts. Now You Can't Leave. The Saddest Thing in Life is Wasted Talent. One of the great ones. All you have to do, John, let's tell them about where I'm appearing, because I'm going back on the road. And where I'll be, John, in July.
Starting back up at the end of July, you're going to be on the 18th, you're going to be in Medford, Massachusetts at the Chevalier Theater. July 20th, you're going to be in Nashua, New Hampshire at the Nashua Center for the Arts. August 17th, you're going to be in Riverhead, New York at the Suffolk Theater. And August 19th, you're going to be in Ocean City, New Jersey at the Ocean City Music Pier.
And that's just July and August. If it's you can't make any of those dates, go on chazzpalminteri.net and you will see where you'll be. We have Sandy Blue Eyes there selling the merchandise. He's a show within a show. Come and see Sandy. Say hello to him. He'd love to take a photo with you and then see the show. And again, folks, if you'd like to see it on film, I just filmed it with five cameras, 4K. You can get it in July on DirecTV or Amazon.com, Amazon Pay Per View, Google, and what else? And Apple, if you'd like to see it. You can watch it on film with 5 cameras, and then you can come and see it up close and personal at those dates that John just gave you. Don't forget my restaurants, Chazz Palminteri Restaurant, 2 of the best Italian restaurants anywhere in the country, and I say that honestly. My name's on it. I'm Italian, Sicilian. It's got to be great. 30 West 46th Street in Manhattan, 264 Main Street. Don't forget, if you say you watch this show, you will get free desserts. And folks, those desserts are not cheap. Those are great desserts. You will get free handmade desserts made right there on the premises with your dinner. I don't care if you got 10 people. You say you watch the show, you get 10 free desserts. Okay? Check it out. My wine, the Chazz wine, Cabernet wine. You can get it at any Stu Leonard's, or you can go to your neighborhood liquor store. They don't have it, tell them to get it. And my cigars, Chazz Palminteri cigars. We have the original Bronx Tale cigar. We have the Cologio. The original came in number 8 in the world. Cigar Enthusiast. Cigar Enthusiast named this number 4 in the world. And the Sunny coming out soon, and that'll be reviewed. So, we got a lot of things cooking here at the show, John. Also, if you like to talk to me in person, advice, or, something you want to talk about, go to chazzpalminteri.net, and all the information is right there. So, John, what are we doing today?
So today, there's a lot of interesting things going on in New York City, and we're going to stay away from politics. But I asked ChatGPT to write you up a bunch of questions asking you, what if you were mayor?
What if I was mayor? Oh, boy. How am I going to stay away from politics? You want to ask me what am I?
Well, we'll base this on a perfect world. We're not really going to talk about policies or anything like that.
I never talk about politics because, I have my own beliefs. I can tell you right now, I'm not a Republican. I'm not an independent. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I like to vote whatever I see common sense. When common sense is there, that's who I vote.
I feel like you're very down the middle with this kind of stuff.
I'm
And
very down the middle.
all of your answers are common sense. So all the questions that ChatGPT is giving us, I feel like they just need you to reiterate the common sense that we need for these
All
subjects.
right, let me hear this. I mean, would I run for mayor? You know what? I could kick some ass and take some names. You know, I get the city in shape. But okay, give me a few questions.
All right. Well, it broke it up into subjects. The first subject that it brings up is housing. It says, if you were mayor, what would you do first to help people with rent or finding a place to live?
I would make sure there's a place for everyone. And I mean that, you know, I would make sure there's some rent control properties that, you know, who had it really great was that building on 43rd Street. Oh, I wish I can remember the name of it. I actually did a documentary on it. It had all artists in. You could put your name in. It takes years to get on. But the rent is always manageable and it never gets too big. And I thought, and it was a very well run, it's still a very well run building. And I think they should have something like that where more people could be in the city and live. Because I got to be honest with you, living in the city is a joke. I mean, it's just, you need a fortune. You need a fortune. It seems like there's very rich people and very poor people. So I believe that you have to like find the middle ground here. I think there should be more buildings that are rent controlled. And I think some of these buildings, my God, that are just outrageously expensive. And I know, I mean, because my daughter lives there in the city and my son will be there and you know, it's tough for them.
There's a ton of buildings with a ton of abandoned apartments, and the landlords just get tax write-offs on all those abandoned apartments. I think that's kind of nuts because
Right.
the landlords aren't losing money if they're using them as tax write-offs.
Yeah.
Nobody's winning from that.
You know, the world is greedy, man. And that's just the way it is, you know? It's just, if there was just a way that people would be satisfied, if people thought about other people, that's all I'm saying. Just try to think about other people. I'm not saying you can't be a capitalist. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can't make money. But if you could just try to be kind, that's all. Just be kind.
I think that would help everybody and go a long way. You
Yeah.
also have to think the people that are making minimum wage in the city working at like McDonald's or something like that, they cannot live in that city. They have to commute to work every day because they can't afford to live in Manhattan.
Right. I mean, Manhattan is just outrageously expensive. My God. But you see, I don't know if, as mayor, and I'm only talking if I was mayor, I don't know. I don't know what you can do about that because you want to raise up the minimum wage. Fine. I think that's good. But then once you do that, they have to charge more. The workers get more, they got to charge more. Where does it end? Where does it end? I don't know. I'm not sophisticated when it comes to that. Can it be done? Maybe it can't be done. I don't know.
It's like a snake chasing its tail, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And then that leads to the next question in housing. It says, how would you decide who gets affordable housing? Because I know that they have lotteries and stuff like that. And obviously there's people that deserve to get these things, but then there's also people that take advantage of these programs.
People always take advantage. Always. I think you got to prove how much you make. And if you make X amount of dollars under a certain amount, you should be allowed to rent in those buildings. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, but I don't think a person who, you know, is very wealthy should be working, should get an apartment there. And people say, well, why? It's in America. Oh, but come on. You know, they need to get that apartment. They need to work in the city. They don't make a lot of money. Let them live there. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Really. I don't find anything wrong with that.
So that's pretty much it for the housing section. The next section that it gave us is public safety. The first thing it says is, what's one thing that you would do to help make people feel safer in the streets of New York?
You know, look, I am pro law enforcement. Everybody knows that about me. I have a Child Reach Foundation that I started with my wife, Gianna, and my best friend, Phil Folio, who passed away, obviously. God rest his soul. He's always behind me. That's him. For COVID. He passed away from COVID. And here's the deal. You commit a crime, you go to jail. You don't get out the same day. It's like if you let out people the same day, you know, and again, I don't want to get political, but this thing that they had, my God, and I know even the Democrats have to agree that this was insane to do. Defund the police? What in God's name made people do that? To think that that was going to work. You want to send a social worker to a domestic violence call? I know cops. Domestic violence calls are one of the most dangerous calls a cop can do. Anything could happen. You are dealing with a man or a woman that's talking about a marriage and children. That's wow.
They're in a rage. They're on drugs.
They're in a rage. They could be on drugs.
They're not thinking clearly.
And you want to send a social worker there to court, and he's going to speak to them about, let's sit down and let's have a timeout? What, are you kidding or what?
Are there times that it would work? Yes, but I feel like a majority of the time it wouldn't, because the person, like I said, they're either enraged, they're on drugs or something like that. They don't have common sense in that moment to talk and reason.
I think after the cop arrests him, or they put him in handcuffs or whatever, or they get him down to the station, you want to bring in a social worker then where things have calmed down a little bit? Fine, I think that's great. But you can't defund the police, folks. You can't, because you know what happens when you defund the police? People know that, and people commit crimes. Man is inherently evil sometimes. It's like a cookie jar. If you tell a child, have all the cookies you want, he will open up that jar every day and clean it out. But if you say, hey, take one cookie, if you take more, you're going to be in trouble, and I mean it, and they know you mean it, they take one cookie.
Well, that's why everything in every store is locked up or behind glass.
I mean, you could steal whatever you want in certain places like California, $999, and you don't go to jail. Please, somebody explain that to me. So what did they do? They would, all the CVS's, all these great drugstores were cleaned out, and now they left all these neighborhoods where people need them for their prescription drugs and everything.
I saw videos of people going in there with calculators to calculate how much stolen goods they've had. It's wild.
I mean, breaking into stores, stealing. And again, I try not to be in politics, but folks, let's talk some common sense here. And I got to tell you, you just can't do that with telling people they can rob whatever they want as long as it's under $1,000. You think they're going to rob food? Come on, stop. I don't believe people should be homeless. I don't believe people should be hungry. This is America, and as people are starving? Really? How does that work? People are homeless? You mean we can't do something about the homeless? I mean, I got to say it, and I hate to pick on them, but it's not as bad as New York, but we have our problems here. But there's these shelters in California that were billions of dollars for the homeless. And it's worse. Please, somebody tell me where all this money is.
I think as mayor, you should have to show where all that money goes on a piece of paper and make it easily accessible.
Yeah.
There should be like a Twitter page or some kind of website that you can go to where X amount of dollars went to where, so you see where your money's going.
I mean, I'll tell you where it goes. And then this is just me. This is my sense. What happens is a lot of these people who run these homeless shelters and homeless things, they don't want homeless to end. Because if it ends, they got no job. Okay? So you tell me, how could you put billions of dollars into something, and the problem is worse.
It's the same thing with medicine in this country, but we won't get into
Yeah.
that now. But it's the same thing. They want to keep you sick because they keep making money.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
simple.
I don't get it. I don't get it how they do that. You know, a lot of these mayors and governors, you know what? You want to run for president? Get your shit together first. You know, let me look at the record that you did at your state as governor or mayor. Okay? And if you couldn't get that shit together, what makes you think you can get the United States together? It's very simple. Get your shit together in your own damn state. And then you can maybe run for president. I mean, look at some of the people who ran for president. And again, I was a Democrat for years. Okay? Clinton, down the middle, was a great politician. You know, as a husband, that's something else. But as a politician, he was great. You know, George, let me tell you something. Bush, the first one, man, was a fighter pilot, a hero, head of the CIA. I mean, he's coming in with some kind of, you know.
He has a record.
He's got a resume. Even George W. Okay? At least they did something. Okay? They did something. I mean, come on. You want to be, at least if you're an executive, you ran a company. I don't know. But you got to have a resume. Now everybody wants to be president. Everybody goes, hey, I could run for president. Really? Really? You think so? You know what? President is the only job where you could learn on the job. Learn on the job. To be president of the United States? And again, I'm a common sense person. I just say, could we use common sense, folks? When we had COVID, I couldn't work on a movie. They were going to fire me from the movie, from my TV series, if I didn't get the COVID shot. Think about that. But right over here in the next state where I was filming it, they were letting in illegal immigrants by the thousands. No vaccination, no vetting. Please, out there, tell me what's right about that. Tell me. Tell me. I'm getting pissed off now because I'm thinking about it. They released people from the Navy, the Army, because they wouldn't take the COVID shot. But right in the next state, they're coming through. Thousands of them. Thousands. Didn't know who they are. So you tell me what's right. Is that common sense or am I crazy? If somebody could look me in the eye and tell me that, well, the reason why is this, then I'll say, hey, man, hey, I was wrong and I'm really sorry. But I'm tired. I'm tired of these politicians, Democrats and Republicans, who do nonstop bullshit. Bullshit. That's what it is. You got to care about the people in the country. You got to care about each other. I mean, is everybody going to get it right? No. But you got to make a decision. I just get so mad. I get so damn mad, about certain things. I don't care if you show this or not, but I'm going to say what I feel. It's how do you tell people they have to take a vaccine that's not even tested fully? How do you do that? That the people that are suffering now, because you said it was safe, you let people take a test, a vaccine, and you knew it wasn't really that safe, so you can make the money on it? Shame on you. And if I ever see you in person, I'm going to tell you. Believe me. My best friend, that guy right there, Phil Foley. Let me tell you something. They could have saved a lot of people in the beginning. They could have saved my friend Phil Foley. They could have. But he wasn't allowed to take that drug. And they all said it didn't work. Why? Because they wanted you to buy and take the vaccine for money. And you criticize and put in jail your own population. We couldn't have birthdays together, and people died. We couldn't even go see some people couldn't even go see their parents who died. But it was okay to have things. We couldn't have barbecues in the summertime. 6 or more people going to end up in jail. What kind of bullshit is that? They build plexiglass in New York. Oh, you could stand up and walk to the bathroom in the restaurant, but once you sat down, you could take your mask off. What the fuck? What are we, kids here? What is this, romper room? Shame on you. Shame on you. People warned us about that. They warned us. People that are young men who are having heart murmurs and enlarged hearts because of this vaccine. Because you said it was safe and we had to take it. I wonder if you took it. I wonder if you took it. Really, I'd like to know that. All these people who said it was safe. Oh, you can't catch it. You can't catch it. Really bullshit. Biden caught it 5 times. He's the president. How many shots did he get? How could you do that? How could you fire all these people and release them out of the service because they wouldn't take it? Our veterans, Green Berets and Navy SEALs and Delta Force and people who said, no, I'm not taking it. Well, we're going to release you from the service. Really? I'm sorry, I'm just going off here right now. But people who come to this country illegally could walk in without taking the shot, come into this country, unvetted, unvaccinated, illegally. We're going to give you a credit card. We're going to buy you a phone. And we're going to put you up in a great hotel in Manhattan or anywhere else. How does that make sense? Really, if you could explain that to me, how that makes sense, I want to know. And now we have people in this country. We don't know. Could be sleeper cells. We don't know when could something happen. They talk about undocumented people. And I know a friend who lived here, lived up where I live. A very close member of his family was killed by an illegal immigrant. Hit drunk driving in a car. But you've seen all the other people who were killed with illegal immigrants, right? And what do people say? Oh, well, it's only a small number. Really? Really a small number? What about if that was your daughter? How would you feel if this person's not supposed to be here? Are you that heartless? Are you that heartless that you could say that? I don't understand it, folks. I really don't. I don't know, John. I don't even know if we could even use any of this, but I'm just so fucking fed up and disgusted with everything.
There's a lot going on. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to speak out because if you speak out, then you're going to be canceled. You're going to be criticized. You're going to lose your job. Like shit like that. I feel like people are really afraid to speak out.
What are you going to cancel me on? How are you going to cancel me? For what? For just saying something that I believe in, that you allow people to steal up to $1,000 and it's good? That's all right? How could you, if you want to cancel me over that, then all right. How could you do that how could you, the people who run those stores, how could you do that to them? And wait a second, I'll say to the Republicans, George Bush, weapons of mass destruction. Bullshit. What's his name? Rumsfeld. Weapons of mass destruction. Fuck you. All the boys that died in that war that didn't have to. We didn't have to attack. Iraq. Why? All those young boys who died there. I go to Walter Reed. I see these people. I talk to them. 19-year-old boys, no legs, one arm with a trapeze holding it on the bed. Come on. We went there for what? For oil? For money? Because the warmongers? I remember talking to a guy. I won't mention his name, the piece of shit, or the firm he worked with, the other piece of shits. And I asked him once during the Iraq War. And I said, they knew there was no weapons of mass destruction. Why would they do that? And he looks at me square in the face, this guy, and says, you know, Chazz, war is very profitable. I had to hold my fucking temper. I said, Chazz, hold your because if I was in the street back in the old neighborhood, I would have dragged this fuck all over the fucking sidewalk. How could you do that? Folks, you know my podcast. I've been on for years and I never go off like this. I'm just really down about people lying to us, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. Could somebody tell the truth? I'm just looking for somebody to tell the truth. That's all I want. I'm done. You know, see you next week. Fuck it.